Well, the show must go on. And regardless of how the hosts feel, the hosts, that would be me and my husband. And today I am really quiet. I haven't had enough sleep. So I should talk about the importance of sleep because I had said I was going to do that. I did a little preview on Instagram yesterday about what we were doing. And I said I'll talk about sleep. But I kind of want to talk about the stress of living as well. And also, this is how you can tell who your friends are. Ask them for a favor, not even a favor, ask them to pay you money they owe you for work you are doing for them. And you're asked this because of the caliber of work you do, and also because you have done quite a bit of work for this friend's whatever. And now I'm being churlish, but what's the hell of having a personal show? What's the point of having a personal show if I can't share with you my experiences to show you what people really are like? So I asked this friend to pay me before the job was done, and this was during a time when I actually needed medical help, physical medical help, and also I was, for those of you who are familiar with my story, then my background is that I had suppressed trauma, extreme trauma, for over 50 years, and in the last 2 years I've been kind of imploding and exploding and healing, climbing out of that tar pool of misery and depression and trauma, which I never gave into, by the way. This is why it was severe when I've imploded. But I just asked, look, I need some, because we're full-time freelance creatives, and in this half of my century, well, I'm starting from scratch, and I know you're not supposed to tell people these things. I know you're supposed to keep things private. And don't tell anyone how you are. Fuck that. This is the problem with the world. I have privileges and I do feel grateful for what I have and who I am and what we have and who I am with and who I have with me. My only friend. Which I think is important for you to feel that way about the person you married. Because otherwise, what's the point of getting married? My point is, you can tell your friends. I'm so deeply upset with people. Also the other thing is, do you think people can work it out? My darling, do you think people can work things out?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think, like, for instance, okay, I'm going to say some things like this. I hate things that are unknotted in my cables. Okay. I have led a very interestingly epic life. I'm not globally famous, but I have had things happen to me. So apart from my childhood and teenhood trauma, there are a few things that have happened to me in my adulthood, which I do take responsibility for. As an adult, the trauma you face is unfortunately consequences because of the choices you've made. I'm not saying that the choices should be punished, because as adults, we get fooled all the time. But you have to take some responsibility for the consequences of things. Some of the abuse. Oh, is that fair? Can a woman ever take responsibility for rape? Look, I don't know. I don't know. It's a terrible world. So I had an argument with, I'm going to go back to that question I asked, an argument with a friendly acquaintance, you're a white guy, Australian guy. And there's this thing like, well, a woman, and he says he's a feminist, but I do see a point in what he said, but I argued with him anyway. My darling, so he was saying, why would you go into a renowned, terrible area for women dressed sexily? And I'm not asking of me, but of something that had happened, a news story. And, why does a woman why would she deliberately dress sexily in an area renowned full of awful males and rape, So I don't know how to, I was like, excuse me, but that's, I was a child. I was wearing my school uniform when I got sexually assaulted 2 times. And I was 13 and dressed like a woman, I guess, when I got raped. As I have said about that rape, I took the consequences because of 2 things. I was dressed as a young woman and in a nightclub. So the guy, okay for him to think I was 18 and over. When I told him I wasn't 18, okay for him to still think I was 16, 17. But when I said no, is when he should have stopped. And that's when I let go of my, like, oh, that's no longer my result of my actions. And then when I told him I was 13 and a virgin, his grip tightened. Anyway, so there's a certain amount of, even as a 13-year-old, I could recognize. And the second time I got raped, I was like, this guy's been watching me all night. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, women have had to take the brunt of their consequences, or what am I saying? Actions.
Yeah.
So now, this is what I'm saying, that I do understand all of that, right? So what do you think? I mean, it's a hard question to just put on you cold call like that, and I don't really want you to answer unless we talk about this on a podcast episode on Radio Fly. But
I'm inclined to. This is weird because
males need to take responsibility.
Yes, but that situation is, if you know the guys are going to do something, you know that they are. It's a bad area, right? So in that situation, I understand what the guy is saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the guys in that area are going to choose to rape you, and you still go there dressed sexily, is that okay?
Oh no, that's like saying she's asking for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know, it's a very contentious
If you
thing.
know that the guys you're going to get raped if you dress like this,
Yuck.
but you still do it.
No, please don't say it's me.
No, I'm just using
Yeah.
it.
But I can't agree with you, because I'm saying, as a woman, we never ask for it.
I know.
No woman ever does anything thinking I'm going, it's like...
But the first question you asked me is, do people figure it out?
No, but that's got nothing to do with this one. Sorry, I know,
sorry,
I've jumped. I'm sorry.
So if the girl knows all of this information and still chooses to do that, yeah, I'm not going to blame the woman on this. It's the guy.
It's the guy.
It's always the guy.
It's always the guy.
But the situation is there, right?
So I mean, it's a difficult for me. I argued really, like, how dare you say that? But with you, I'm saying, look, as a woman, I do understand in this construct, in this society, we have to take some responsibility for being, I can't even say that. This is crazy. But in this society, we know that we are not free and not safe.
What I don't agree with is, so a girl got mugged. One of my workmates, she had gotten mugged, and she was telling the story. It wasn't bad. She didn't get physically attacked or anything, but she went to the police station. Her purse got stolen, and this was on USP campus, right in Fiji, and the guy said you shouldn't have been walking around at night.
Wow.
Right. This is what I don't agree with this. So, she could have got raped and everything, but he would have still had the same response. She shouldn't have been out and I'm like, he's not doing his job.
That's exactly, thank you.
That's his job, to protect people so they can walk around at night at 11 o'clock without worrying about being mugged.
But
that
sadly,
I don't agree with.
Even though police is more prevalent, I have talked about how the police originated. It was, the police force came from the concept of royal guards, as in people employed to protect the royals. The police force came from that. Anyway, I'm going to continue talking about this because do you think people can work it out? Are people supposed to forgive those? Why are those of us who get abused, we're supposed to then work it out with the people who abused us? So as I was saying, consequences of choices, etc., etc. Now, sadly, we live in a world where women are always going to get blamed for the tragedy that befalls them, considering women are the ones who bring people into the world. What is going on? What's with the patriarchy? Why do you want to destroy the cunt? You came from it. You want it. Your desperation for it.
The brotherhood is strong.
The brotherhood of little dicks. Now I'm going to talk about consequences again. So, as I was saying, I have led an epic life. I didn't ask for the abuse in my childhood and teenhood, neither did my mother. So, but in my older years, because of the trauma fog and the trauma I was suppressing, I tend to attract a lot of narcissistic friends, and misogynistic women who are narcissists as well. And narcissist is a term that is really trending, and now everyone's a narcissist. And I feel you've really got to be able to recognize the narcissist in you before labeling anyone else a narcissist. So I can talk about that. I might talk about that another time. What is a narcissist, and are you one? So I do tend to attract women misogynists who, these are usually women who have scores of women friends because they like to be the alpha dog of the woman group so that they can control and manipulate all the women. In fact, secretly they think that they are more superior and better than all the other women. There's so many. I will tell you that every single woman who needs to have a group of friends always fawning at her feet and is a misandrist on top of that, yeah, she's also a misogynist. So I know many of that. Anyway, one such woman, if you can call her that, I don't know if a misogynist woman deserves that title. You know, a woman is someone who loves being a woman, is 100% a woman, has bled to be a woman, will always, you know, regardless of how you want to take that. So yeah, I'm going to say I'm inclusive, but a woman is a woman, and then everyone else has to quantify. So you've got woman, and then you've got misogynist women. You know, you've got, well, trans women, but you're trans women. You were born with male privilege, and you're welcome to womanhood. But come on. So going back to the misogynist woman, she, when I in my late 20s, my supposed best friend tried to kill me because I confronted her on a lie. Because, well, she's a bit of a whore, and. And, you know, and then accusing everybody else, and very entitled. There are people who are very entitled in this world. And I'm not one of them. What I am is, well, actually, I deserve recognition for my skills. And that's us creatives. But there are people who are entitled who just think that they deserve rewards of being who they are. And what, because you're born with beauty in your youth, you think that you deserve to be, you know, showered with riches. Young women in countries like my country of birth who are born beautiful are then told to trade that physicality for, you know, future, for security, for collateral, for commodity purposes. And they usually become models. I was a model. I'm an ex-model. But I was also a radio and television presenter. I was a radio producer, copywriter, and a writer and a singer of jazz and contemporary pop. And modeling was just something I was extremely good at. I was, you know, discovered at a young age, and I have flair, blah, blah, blah. Going back to this friend. Anyway, she tried to kill me when I confronted her. Other people around her, so like 25, 26 years later, have, especially other people, Jesus types, Jesus alcoholic types, have said to me, oh, you know, you can be friends. No, you know why? Because I owned up to my part I played in things, and this person who tried to kill me 25 years ago, who is still an auntie of society. Oh my God, with a stupid, fake, vacuous island trophy smile. Well, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. You know, all this stuff that I'm talking about happened in 1998. In 2012, I forgave this woman when she asked me to do something that benefited her, but was also, you know, because she lives off everything I do. Anyway, this is not about her. This is about, do you think people can work it out? So I'm talking about things like this. I'm taking individual experiences. Do you think people can work it out? And now I'm going to take it bigger, you know. Do you think countries can work it out? There isn't conflict happening in a lot of places. The only, conflict is when two countries of equal power go to war. Is there any such thing like that happening now? I don't think so. There is, however, a lot of besiege. You know, what can we say? People are colonizing, people are genociding, people are going to war. This is what Russia did to Ukraine. Now Ukraine has retaliated, and everyone's like, yeah, go Ukraine, go. It's not happening so much in the Middle East. That's because, well, it's not the Palestinians who are retaliating. It's the group that is retaliating on behalf of the Palestinians. Now, do understand that they're not necessarily for peace and Palestinian right. It is about land. Also, then, the genociders. That's not necessarily about peace as well. And look, I am pro-Palestine. I am pro-people of Jewish faith. But I'm also pro-humanity, and I'm anti-genocide. I'm also anti-religion.
So, yeah. this is a difficult war. What is this?
Look, I don't know. I woke up feeling a bit. I do. By the way, need to have a bit of a moment to clear my throat. I woke up really upset and hurt and angry. I'm angry at people who call themselves your friends, but when it comes to need, when you actually really need them to be a friend, you need them to just say, sure, I know you, I trust you because I've confided in you, and I also know your work, so sure, you know? It's like that clip, and like How You Are. It's that clip, I don't know what movie it's from, but it's starring, you know, Batfleck and Arrow. Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner. Is that the name?
Yeah, Hawkeye, not Arrow.
Right. And no, but isn't he the Archer?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Arrow's
Yes,
DC.
that's right. Sorry. I should know better. I'm a comic fan, and I'm a DC comic fan, and I like the Avengers. Oh my gosh. Anyway, and I'm pedantic. Sorry, thank you, darling. That's what you're saying. Hawkeye. I'm like, what? Hawkeye, what? Thanks, sweetheart. There's this movie clip, and I don't know what it's from, but Ben Affleck's character just walks in, and you know, and he says, "Look, we need what? What is it?
It's gonna be dangerous. Blah blah blah. You know."
Yeah, I need you to come here somewhere with me. It's going to be dangerous. I need you to not ask, or whatever. I need you to just come. And Jeremy Renner's character just looks up nonchalantly and says, "What car are we taking?" And that's best friendship.
Yeah.
That's what I have with you. I have to cough again. Oh, sorry. It's the up and down of temperature right now. Also, so many people. We live in a very leafy, park-like area, but it's still residential and it's still city. So we've got lots and lots of people, and my gosh, everyone's just coughing and spluttering all over the place, and I feel like the germs carry. Hello, fresh air. You know, and when you go outside and cough your germs out to the balcony, and a pandemic has made us all realize the severity and the distance a cough and a sneeze, especially a sneeze, can go. But a cough, coming up with the force of your core, pushing that out of your body. Oh, I've been coughing a bit. So yes, but this is all over the place because I woke up really. I hadn't slept, and I did want to actually talk about sleep. So I will talk about the importance of sleep later. I might do that here and on Instagram. And I missed out on some quality hours of sleep. And I'm just so angry at people. I'm so angry. I know I come down really hard on women. This is going to seem like I'm a misogynist. I love women. I was born to a god in the shape of a woman. My mother, she showed me what woman is. She poured all the love of woman in me and the strength of woman. Her selflessness made me selfish to a certain degree, so I can understand other parts that I need to have. So I chose not to have children. I chose not to get married. Except when I got married, I chose to live life differently, to see things not with walls, to see actually that there are no walls, there's only constructs and they're all invisible. But anyway, I woke up churlish, my darling. I woke up irritated and annoyed and without sleep, and I'm constantly, you know, it just, and I'm just frustrated at the integrity of people, because that's another thing I want to talk about. Integrity. And also, how many more minutes do we have, my love?
10.
Okay. Because there's other things I want to talk about. Like I mentioned to you, you know, darling, people love the boo-hooey. Mm-hmm. People love misery. People love, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. People love getting attention through misery. People love getting attention through misery. And so, yes, I understand that, because for a while when I did finally implode, everyone was like, oh my God, no one expected me to have all of this. So everyone's first things that when they started hearing, like, oh my gosh, I thought you were so strong. I'm like, yeah, I am so strong, which is why I was able to withhold and suppress my trauma, that extreme physical violence, the rapes, the spine shattering, the witnessing my God being violated and battered. I suppressed all of that for 51 years. How are you going in the Trauma Olympics? And we can play trauma bingo too. Sure, I haven't been in a war-torn country, but the country of my birth went through coups quite badly, which affected me very badly the first time it happened. Because my whole life got turned upside down. No one asked me in school back then. Back now, in school, if something happened to a child, that child will be given self-care week, which is great. Nothing like that happened to me. My school, my boarding school in Brisbane, which I may have to take this up with. Oh, why? What's it going to do now? Those nuns were tyrants back then. But it'd be interesting. I might write to them. Anyway, microwave on. 30 minutes, but I'm just saying, why would I want to write to them? I'm just being chillish today. Look, this is me I have privacy, so there's a lot of things I won't say, but I'm transparent with everything. These are human feelings. These are things we all feel and pretend we don't. So behind the screens and the closed doors, we're like, out of them, we're like, oh, I'm just congenial and positive vibes and be happy and whatever. You're all liars. And all these people, yesterday, another person called me wanting to talk about one of their projects. And when I sort of, because I've come out of there's been an interesting air. And I've been a bit down. I've come out of it now and I'm full of energy again. My energy. And so, but a person, when they don't really people don't want to hear about your healing if they're in their own trauma or haven't, because a lot of people think that just saying that they had mental health and I hear you and all that stuff means that they resolve their mental health. No, there's a lot of people who are still dancing on the fumes of all of that because it gets more attention to say. It doesn't get any attention, now that because a couple of things. Primarily with women, they see that I'm with a man who is like Dwayne. And so I get said that they want a Dwayne because they think Dwayne is a product, like a vibrator with, compassion. I don't know. It's very... by the way, vibrators, I was a big supporter of all that shit. Vibrators are numbing our clits and our genitalia. So therefore, I feel making the membranes of our cunt brain, they're hardening it. That's not scientific, but I'm sure there's some sort of spiritual science behind it. But all these Euro white women like that influencer Abby, promoting anal vibrating toys and saying that's the most pleasure you're ever going to get. No, that's what our clit and our vaginas and our cervixes are for, and that's what a woman's body does, just provide pleasure anyway. It's up to the person and mind. It's all in the mind. Oh my God. I can't believe what's happening to the world. I was talking about people love the boo-hooey, yeah. So I will talk about that all the time because people love the attention they get from their misery. They don't want attention from joy. Joy, it's like somebody else. Every time I ask, it's something else wrong with this person. Oh, okay, why? Because you want attention. I'm bored. And then when you ask, well, are you thinking about getting better? Oh, I just don't have the time yet. Okay. This is why I never told anyone about any of my ailments, because I wasn't ready to do anything about the fact I relied too much on my hidden pain. I loved the pain I lived with for 51 years prior to imploding, because it gave me some sort of, I don't know, fuel to keep running from the trauma that the pain was coming from. Does that make sense? Have I articulated that? I don't know if you can hear that. But because people love the boo-hooey, so I was the one, so me internally like, I'm so tragic, I'm so traumatized. Why? Why am I traumatized? What am I hiding? I'm so this, I'm so that, but I wouldn't tell anyone because I took some perverse pleasure in knowing that I'm on a stage, I'm on a runway, and I'm suicidal, and that I'm, I've been suffering, and I've had terrible trauma, but no one knows it. I took so much stupid hubris. And now that hubris, whoa, pride, I have none. I have none. Because in this world exists people who call themselves friends. But when you ask them to, okay, prove your friendship, they, oh no, because this and no, 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 no. No, no, actually. No, no. Be a friend or don't. And don't start making excuses because you are too weak to figure out your life that you want trauma in. People deliberately go looking for trauma. Women deliberately go looking for the kind of guys that are going to cause them trauma. So that they can, boo-hooey about it afterwards and say, oh, look, they did this to me and did that to me. What about the choices you made? And look, I know how guys can play you. I've been in relationships where I've been emotionally manipulated. My trauma was seen and used against me. I was called crazy and therefore unable to make decisions. We settle into our comfort zones, whoever the person is who's going to, perhaps let us hide from ourselves a bit more. Now, I am not a misogynist. I've always wanted, and I'm not a misandrist. I just wanted a strong partner who at that stage, the choices I made then, I know the consequences, the result. I mean, we all make these choices. The partner you are with, unless this is an arranged marriage that you cannot get out of, and this isn't some backwater, back-ass, I was going to say bakwas, really, which is a Hindi word, ridiculous, but back-ass is good too. Place that of pedophilia marriage, marrying off a child to old, this still exists in this world, in places that currently are being championed by people. And this is another thing, I'm going to ask you this question. Have you really unpacked all of these things that you are promoting so actively to show how wonderfully compassionate and advocate you are? Hiding behind advocacy for public, for the current affairs and the topics that are happening in the world, the conflicts. They're not conflicts. Well, they are in some ways if you really unpack it. But you're using them to hide behind your own failures to confront yourself. Because the scariest thing in the world for people seems to be confronting themselves. Instead, they take it out on everybody else. Do you think people can work it out? Look, I don't think so. Everyone is so in demand of their own territory, whether it be country, land, space, or just, where you're standing. Everyone seems to think that they're entitled to that piece of earth that they stand on. And we walk. So we seem to think we're entitled to everything. This earth is entitled to flick us off. Oh, I'm sounding really angry and I understand this is too much for some people. Some people are like, oh no, I can't listen to this right now. It's too much for me. You mean you can't listen to what you should be listening to? But do turn to your therapists and, oh, that's right, therapy is the new God. Do turn to your, my God and my therapist says this is all I get. Buddha and women. Do not come to me with your spirituality and quote some patriarchal religious system and then call yourself a feminist on top of that. Oh, I just spat. Ugh. Full of it today. Oh, and I'm getting poached eggs and scones. Oh, yum. So really today is the fancy egg. Because that was a really ugly face I just made. Gosh. Sleep. I do need to talk about sleep. How it is so important, how we don't get it, because you know why? We're not in the present. Only people who understand what's being in the present is, and these are the people who are actually able to find peace. But sleep requires of us to let go of the past, the day that has been, or whenever you're sleeping. And that's why we can sleep and nap at times when we're not supposed to be sleeping, because when it comes to sleep, it's like, I can't sleep because I've got to worry about the past, I've got to worry about the future, and that's the day tomorrow, But when you're just napping somewhere, it's like you're not sleeping. You're just being in the present, and right now you're really tired. So when I said, do you think people can work it out? What I'm curious about is, why does one side have to win? There's some things, so I was saying, going back to the start of the story, I had said she's not a friend, but a mutual acquaintance who had said another Jesus dropping. Poor Jesus. All these people who hide behind this glorious human being who existed, who was magical, along with many, many others, and along, especially his mother. I mean, my gosh, why do we not talk about enough about the divinity of the woman who brings, like, forward these males to become voices of God? Anyway, so a lot of these alcoholic women, they hide behind Jesus. So I don't understand how you can go through a bottle of wine. Is that like your communion?
That's his blood, right?
Right. Okay. And then drop Jesus things here, there, and everywhere. And instead of giving an opinion, you drop a psalm or, or a verse. And it's like, no, I want to hear your voice, not some. No. And also Buddha. Now, Buddhism may not be a religion; it's a philosophy, but it is still patriarchal, and it is still telling you to stay in your lane and don't really care about anyone else. Fundamentally, that's what it is. I love Buddhism for its be present, be now. And being present means, frankly, selfishly, not really caring about anyone else. Because if you do care about someone else, you can't fully be in the present. And that's what human beings are. And this is why we are given the purpose of each other, so that we understand that our consequences affect the people around us. Being present is a very selfish way to be. But it is also the calmest way to be. And you can be present within yourself, but be there for someone around you. So if you love not unconditionally, but if you love with clarity and with purpose and with passion, compassion, kindness, joy, friendship, practicality, then, you have purpose. And so being present while also planning for the future, because the future happens every second. So purpose, understanding consequences. It's the same way I am not a loose cannon. The words come out of my mouth, not in a tumble, not in a jumble, a maelstrom, a crazy, debris, flotsam, jetsam filled wave, crashing out of my mouth. No. The tides all know what they're doing in my brain. The syntax comes out in formation. But anyway, so these are questions we're going to ask. I'm going to expand on. Do you think people can work it out? I think, yes, they can, but it is our pride and whatever. But also, if this idiot who tried to kill me, if she actually owned up to it instead of blaming me, because this is what happened, she ended up blaming me. But I gave her the benefit of doubt for 25 years until last year when I said no more. This misandrist, misogynist, vacuous island trophy has been standing on my shoulders, which I've looked up to her and I've said, I'm sorry, for making you try to kill me. And she's looked down on me like, that's okay, because I'm just a horrible woman anyway. I hate all women, is what she should be saying. And then maybe I would have forgiven her. So yeah, maybe people can work it out. Why does one side have to win? Why win? That is what I don't know. Why is this going on? Why could there not have been a discussion? And now people are saying, no, things like two-state countries can't win. Why not? Why does everyone have to have ownership of the land that they have? This land is not yours, not mine.
That's the question. It's not like, why does someone have to win? Why are there two sides?
Yeah, why are there two sides?
Well,
This is other
that's
thing.
why someone has to win, because there's two sides. But then why are there two sides?
And it should be a sport then. The only time there should be two sides and one can win is sport. And, board games, and if you want professional competition. Because otherwise we all really should be winning. We all win. Either that or you're going to think, boy, we're the biggest losers in the world being born onto this planet.
If someone wins, that means someone loses.
That's right.
Right?
And that should only be in a sporting arena. And people who get paid extremely well to have these. But in a situation like this, and are you
Are you going to cut it?
Am I going to cut it?
I was going to hold it cut it.
Oh, right. Please do so. Oops, don't show that side of the sink, which is really... I had cut off abruptly, but this, my friends, is the fancy egg today because Dwayne made scones yesterday. Oh, look. Oh, my God. I need to take a photograph. Where's that zoning? Oh, wow. Delicious. Thank you, darling. I've forgotten everything that I'm talking about now. So that's good. So, because we do have to go. But I will be back, and I just need to chew. not cool. Are you not eating?
Yeah. Right.
This is what I did not want to do. So, oh no, I forgot. This is the Daily Egg on Wednesday. Not quite as fancy as mine. On Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Very soon, we're going to be in the middle of March, and very soon, official autumn will begin. The equinox, it's usually around the 21st. And in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be the spring equinox. Of course, everything, centers around the Northern Hemisphere. So we're talking about spring equinox, and we don't ever talk about autumn equinox and what that means. We'll talk about that another day. So, do you think people can work it out? Why does one side have to win? Why do we have to win? And people love the boo-hooey. And are you really a good friend? Also, this other question, I'm just going to throw it. So they're doing a live action remake of The Wizard of Oz, or something to do with the actual witches of Wizard of Oz. So I think it's based on the musical, so Wicked. And it's really the story about, I can't even remember her name, this is terrible, the Green Witch, the one that was the, my pretty. And of course, Glinda is like,
the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, so she's the Wicked Witch of the West, but Glinda's not the Wicked Witch. Glinda's the Good Witch of the North.
The White Witch.
The White Witch. So, great. Now, in the movie that they're making, they have cast Ariana Grande. She's not Latina. She's just pretended to be Latino. But I like Ariana. I don't know her songs, but I think she's a feisty young woman and compassionate. But now she's full white. And they've cast as the Green Witch. I can't remember her name. She's got a fantastic name. And it's really the story about her, why she became bad, and all these backstories of why they became bad. Look, sometimes it doesn't need to be backstory, but women, they do. Not males. Women need a backstory as to why they became bitch, like Maleficent from the Wicked Witch of Sleeping Beauty. Why did she become like that? Oh, because of the patriarchy. So look, I dig it. And with this Wicked Witch, supposedly, why did she become wicked when she was best friends with Glinda, the bitch? The bad, the good bitch. No, she wasn't a good bitch at all. But why have they cast a black woman as the Green Witch, Okay, sure. Like, why, if you really want to make a change, why not cast a black woman as Glinda, the Good Witch of the North? Which, it could be North Africa. It could be the Northern Hemisphere, have black people, that's where we all came from. Black people. Why wasn't Lupita Nyong'o cast as Glinda?
Maybe the Journey.
Nah, don't give a shit.
If the person is black.
Don't give a shit. Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, you're saying the journey is more realistic if the person's black?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
A white person would never experience that kind of life.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say that, no. Yeah, true, that is true. But if we're really talking about diversity and optics and all of that in Hollywood, what's with this casting? Because she's going to be in green makeup anyway, so what does it matter who the person is underneath it? But I get what you're saying. It's a good point. A black woman is cast as, I don't know if says she's a woman. Pronouns are also a problem. So Cynthia Erivo was cast as the Green Witch, the Wicked Witch. And it could be because black people do know the pain of oppression and being ostracized, etc. So maybe that's that. But if they really wanted to show something new, they could have shown Glinda as a black woman. Who knows? I don't know the story. Maybe Glinda is actually a bitch.
Because in Wizard of Oz, the Green Witch is ugly. She's got a big nose.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Not that big noses are ugly. Just the nose on the character in the Wizard of Oz is to make sure she looks like I used to know all the dialogue from Good Morning Vietnam. When Adrian Cronauer, I still do. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. This is a lot to take in today. Thank you very much for being here on today's The Daily Egg. I've got to go back to my fancy egg. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow. I will be back later on, perhaps talking about sleep, or maybe I'll do that on Instagram, on a live there. Our lives are still there on our Instagram account, The Lives of Our Days. Thank you very much for being here. Okay. Bye.